Important message. Clogged arteries can silently develop over years and suddenly strike with a heart attack or stroke. In the United States, where heart disease is the leading cause of death, most people don't realize that diet plays a direct and powerful role in protecting artery health. You need to know which foods can help clean and support your muscle arteries before it's too late. One of the most underrated but crucial types of arteries are the muscular arteries, which are responsible for delivering oxygenated blood to your muscles, including your heart. These arteries often get damaged silently through years of consuming processed foods, refined sugars, hydrogenated oils, and excess sodium, staples in many standard American diets. Over time, this causes oxidative stress, chronic inflammation, and the buildup of atherosclerotic plaque. Once your arteries start narrowing, your heart has to work harder to push blood through, and this can lead to serious complications like heart failure or cardiac arrest. In the United States, many people live with undiagnosed arterial damage until they suffer a sudden cardiovascular event. That's why using specific natural foods to support arterial cleaning can make a huge difference. Foods that are rich in antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, and artery-relaxing nutrients have been shown to slow and even reverse some forms of early arterial plaque. These are not miracle cures, but weapons your body uses if you give it the right support. Garlic is one of the most powerful natural artery cleansers. Most Americans know garlic as a flavor booster, but in clinical research it has consistently shown the ability to reduce total cholesterol and lower LDL, the bad cholesterol that builds up in your arterial walls. Garlic also improves nitric oxide production, which helps arteries relax and dilate. This means better blood flow to muscle tissue. In one study, patients with advanced coronary artery disease who took garlic supplements showed significantly slower progression of plaque buildup. Imagine how this translates to your muscles. With better blood delivery, you're giving your tissues the oxygen and nutrients they need to function and repair. Whether raw or cooked, garlic contains allicin, the compound that gives it its powerful anti-inflammatory and cholesterol-reducing effects. People in Canada and Australia who follow Mediterranean-based diets high in garlic tend to have lower heart disease rates, which speaks volumes about its role in cardiovascular protection. Avocados are another food that directly benefits your muscle arteries. The monounsaturated fats in avocados are heart-healthy and help reduce LDL cholesterol while increasing HDL, which is the protective cholesterol that keeps your arteries clean. In the United Kingdom and the United States, studies have shown that people who eat avocados regularly have better vascular elasticity, which means their arteries are more capable of expanding during physical activity. That's vital when your muscles need more oxygen during exercise or stress. Avocados are also high in potassium, which counteracts the harmful effects of sodium on blood pressure, something particularly important in the U.S., where excessive sodium intake is linked with high rates of hypertension and stroke. In one large clinical study, people who consumed just one avocado per day had improved markers of arterial health, including lower oxidized LDL and reduced inflammatory markers like CRP. Berries, especially blueberries, are loaded with anthocyanins. These are antioxidant compounds that give berries their rich color and have a direct effect on your arterial health. They reduce oxidative stress in the arteries and support endothelial function, which is the thin layer lining your blood vessels. In people from the United States with metabolic syndrome or early-stage cardiovascular issues, adding berries to the diet showed clear improvements in arterial stiffness and blood pressure. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries all work similarly, but blueberries have been especially studied for their role in increasing nitric oxide levels and improving blood flow. This isn't just about your heart. your muscle. Tissue depends on this same blood flow to stay nourished and perform well, whether you're exercising or just moving throughout the day. Many older adults in Canada and Australia have improved their walking endurance and reduced muscle fatigue just by adding a daily serving of berries to their diet, showing how powerful these fruits are for circulation. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel are among the most effective foods to fight arterial plaque and inflammation. Rich in omega-3 fatty acids, these fish reduce triglycerides, lower blood pressure, and prevent blood clots. In the United States, the American Heart Association recommends eating fatty fish at least twice per week for heart health. Omega-3s also reduce the inflammatory response in blood vessels, helping to stabilize plaque so it doesn't rupture and cause heart attacks. Muscle arteries especially benefit from omega-3s because these fats help maintain arterial flexibility and reduce the stiffness that makes it harder for blood to move efficiently. People who consume omega-3s regularly tend to have lower levels of homocysteine, a harmful amino acid that damages arterial walls. In the United Kingdom, patients with angina who were put on high-dose omega-3s experienced fewer episodes and improved. Circulation to the heart muscle, a strong indication that muscle arteries were functioning more efficiently. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are nutritional powerhouses when it comes to supporting your arteries. These vegetables are packed with nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing and expanding blood vessels. In people from the United States with high blood pressure, adding more leafy greens to tautu, their meals significantly reduced arterial pressure and improved endothelial function. Spinach is especially high in potassium and magnesium, which help balance blood pressure and reduce arterial stiffness. These greens are also rich in vitamin K1, which prevents calcium from being deposited in the arteries, a major cause of stiffening and reduced elasticity. Arteries that lose their elasticity can't properly respond to the demands of your muscles, especially during activity or stress. People in Australia and the United Kingdom who follow diets high in leafy greens often have lower arterial calcium scores and reduced risk of peripheral artery disease. Nuts, especially walnuts and almonds, are among the most heart-supportive foods you can eat. Walnuts provide alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3, while almonds are high in vitamin E and magnesium, both critical for vascular health. Regular nut consumption is associated with a reduced risk of coronary artery disease and improved lipid profiles. In a major U.S.-based study, people who ate just a handful of nuts 5 times a week had a 29% lower risk of cardiovascular events. That's a major impact, especially considering how easy it is to include nuts in your diet. These nutrients reduce inflammation and improve the function of your endothelium, keeping your muscle arteries more responsive and reducing the risk of small clots forming and blocking blood flow to vital tissues. Canadian researchers also found that regular walnut consumption improved arterial compliance, a measure of how flexible and responsive arteries are. Olive oil, particularly extra virgin olive oil, has been a cornerstone of heart-healthy diets in many parts of the world, but is gaining attention in the United States for its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Rich in polyphenols and monounsaturated fats, olive oil helps reduce LDL oxidation and improves HDL function, which assists in cholesterol transport out of the arteries. In one study, people with early signs of arterial stiffness who added just 2 tablespoons of olive oil to their daily diet saw measurable improvements in endothelial function in under 4 weeks. Muscle arteries benefit directly from this because improved endothelial function translates to better oxygen delivery to tissues. The anti-inflammatory compounds in olive oil have also been shown to reduce C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, 2 major markers of chronic arterial inflammation. People in the United Kingdom and Canada who adopted olive oil-rich diets showed better cardiovascular markers than those on low-fat diets, showing that the quality of fat matters more than just cutting fat. Beets are one of the most potent foods you can consume to enhance blood flow and clean your muscle arteries due to their high nitrate content. Once ingested, nitrates are converted into nitric oxide, which relaxes and widens the blood vessels. This directly supports your muscle arteries by improving circulation and reducing the strain on your heart. In clinical studies conducted in the United States, individuals who drank beetroot juice showed lowered blood pressure and improved oxygen delivery during physical activity. For people with cardiovascular risk, this is not just a benefit, it's a necessity. Your arteries, especially those feeding your heart and skeletal muscles, rely on nitric oxide to stay flexible and functional. Beets are also high in betaine, a compound that helps reduce homocysteine, a toxic amino acid that can damage the arterial lining. In a Canadian study, older adults consuming beet juice before walking had better endurance and less muscle fatigue, showing a direct improvement in blood flow to the legs and arms. The vibrant color of beets comes from betalains, which also have powerful antioxidant effects, reducing oxidative stress that stiffens and damages arteries over time. Turmeric, specifically. The active compound curcumin is an anti-inflammatory powerhouse that protects the inner lining of arteries. Chronic inflammation is one of the leading causes of arterial plaque buildup in the United States. Curcumin works by blocking inflammatory pathways and reducing oxidative stress inside arterial walls. In one study conducted in Australia, patients with atherosclerosis who took curcumin supplements had improved endothelial function and reduced signs of arterial stiffness. People dealing with high blood pressure or type 2 diabetes in the United Kingdom often use turmeric as a supplement to reduce arterial tension and improve blood flow. Muscle arteries are particularly sensitive to chronic inflammation because they're exposed to constant microtrauma from movement, exercise, and stress. If inflammation is left unchecked, plaque forms faster, and the arteries start to narrow. Turmeric helps prevent that cycle. It also reduces platelet aggregation, lowering the risk of clot formation, another danger when arteries are narrowed. Turmeric with black pepper increases its absorption dramatically, and many people in the U.S. now take this combination daily as a natural approach to managing their cardiovascular risk. Dark chocolate, when it's at least 70% cocoa, is one of the most surprising yet effective foods for artery health. Rich in flavonoids, particularly epicatechin, dark chocolate boosts nitric oxide levels and improves endothelial function. Several studies from the United States show that individuals who consume a small square of dark chocolate a few times a week have lower blood pressure and improved arterial flexibility. This is critical for muscle arteries that must expand during exercise or emotional stress. One major UK-based clinical study even linked moderate dark chocolate consumption to a reduced risk of heart failure and stroke. But the type of chocolate matters. Sugar-loaded milk chocolate won't deliver these benefits. Cocoa flavonoids help prevent LDL from oxidizing, which is a key step in the development of plaque. They also lower CRP levels, reducing chronic inflammation that hardens arteries. Over time, in Canada, patients with peripheral artery disease who consumed cocoa-rich dark chocolate showed improved walking distance and lower pain due to enhanced blood flow to the limbs. This effect matters immensely when your goal is to support muscle, performance, and prevent arterial blockages. Green tea is another natural artery cleanser that's been extensively studied for its cardiovascular benefits. It contains catechins, which are powerful antioxidants that reduce cholesterol absorption and improve blood lipid profiles. In people from the United States struggling with high LDL, adding green tea to their routine helped lower levels of oxidized cholesterol and improved the arterial flexibility in both major and minor blood vessels. Muscle arteries, which often work under high pressure during activity, benefit from this improved elasticity. In clinical trials from Japan and confirmed. In Western studies, green tea drinkers had fewer signs of arterial stiffness and better endothelial function. In Australia and Canada, green tea is also being used as a supportive therapy for individuals with high blood pressure or early signs of heart disease. Drinking 2 to 4 cups per day can deliver enough catechins to start making a difference. In arterial health, green tea also contains L-theanine, an amino acid that reduces stress-induced blood pressure spikes. Important in the United States, where stress-related cardiovascular conditions are rising. Citrus fruits like oranges, grapefruits, and lemons provide a unique combination of vitamin C, flavonoids, and fiber, all of which support artery health. Vitamin C strengthens the arterial walls by supporting collagen production, while flavonoids like hesperidin improve blood flow and reduce inflammation. People in the United States who consume more citrus fruit have been shown to have lower levels of CRP and other inflammatory markers. In one Canadian study, men with high cholesterol who added grapefruit to their diet saw improved arterial flow and reduced LDL oxidation. The pectin fiber in citrus fruits binds to cholesterol in the gut and helps flush it out, preventing it from entering the bloodstream and damaging the arteries. For muscle arteries, better blood quality and lower cholesterol means less risk of blockages and more efficient oxygen delivery. In the United Kingdom, where citrus fruit consumption is also encouraged for heart health, patients with early cardiovascular symptoms saw improved arterial stiffness after just 6 weeks of adding daily citrus fruit. These benefits are maximized when citrus is consumed whole, not in the form of sugary juice, which can spike blood sugar and worsen inflammation. Pomegranates are a vascular superfood that support arterial cleaning through their polyphenols, particularly punicalagin. These antioxidants have been proven in multiple U.S.-based studies to reduce arterial plaque and improve the activity of enzymes that break down oxidative compounds inside blood vessels. In one landmark study, people with carotid artery stenosis, who drank pomegranate juice daily for a year, had a significant reduction in plaque size and blood pressure. The same mechanisms apply to muscle arteries, where enhanced nitric oxide production improves circulation, oxygenation, and overall performance. Pomegranates are especially useful for preventing the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, the exact process that leads to arterial plaque formation. In Australia, researchers found that pomegranate extract improved endothelial function in patients with metabolic syndrome, a condition that puts massive strain on the arteries. Pomegranate juice or fresh seeds both work, but it's important to avoid versions with added sugars. This fruit's benefits go beyond just the heart. It supports blood flow to every part of the body, including skeletal muscle, brain, and kidneys, reducing the risk of ischemia and fatigue. Whole grains such as oats, quinoa, and brown rice play a significant role in cleaning arteries and supporting muscular circulation. Unlike refined carbohydrates, whole grains provide fiber, especially beta-glucan in oats, that helps reduce total cholesterol and prevent plaque buildup. In people in the United States with high cholesterol or insulin resistance, whole grain intake has been linked with better arterial elasticity and lower triglycerides. Fiber binds with bile acids in the digestive system and forces the body to use cholesterol to replace them, naturally reducing LDL levels in the blood. This process translates into cleaner arteries and less chance of blockages in the vessels feeding your heart and muscles. In Canada, whole grain consumption has been promoted as part of national heart health programs because of its ability to reduce C-reactive protein and improve vascular function. When your diet is rich in fiber and free from refined grains, you're Muscle arteries perform better, support energy delivery, and delay fatigue. In the United Kingdom, studies also showed that people who consume more whole grains have lower arterial stiffness and improved flow-mediated dilation, a measure of artery flexibility.